Welcome to your Freak to Genius channel. I'm Chris and I'm here to help you transform and grow and to alchemize the lead in your life into gold with joy, ease, and fun, because you're here to live the life you love. I don't have a fixed schedule because I allow things to drop in when they are ready with divine timing, so I invite you to subscribe if you want to be informed when new clips land. But now let's dive into today's episode and create some magic together. And we're back to a new episode. I'm so happy that you're tuning in because today we're looking at the technique I actually had wanted to show you the last time already, but that would have just been too much and too overwhelming, so I chopped it up into two parts. And I developed this technique as a mix from David R. Hawkins' book, Letting Go, and Darren Wiseman's Lifeline technique that I certified in as a practitioner, and Rumi's poem, The Guest House. And I'm so excited to share this with you. Like I said last time, even if you are someone who is generally a happy, joyful person, life will come at you with things that are challenging and that bring up some heavy emotions, and that's how it's meant to be because our souls came here for the whole experience. And as Rumi says, be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So today we will explore how you can connect to that guide from beyond. And I want to make you aware of the fact that processing emotions is nothing with which you fix yourself just to get back into the high vibe. It's not that anything is wrong with you when you feel in a low vibe. It's not that we have to be happy and joyful and all of that all of the time, but instead it's about harvesting the energy, setting that energy free that is kind of caught in these emotions that are not flowing, and to let that energy flow again so you can use it for something beautiful and creating something that you would love. And it's also about increasing your self-awareness and your ability to respond even when challenging emotions or feelings arise. And like I said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with any feelings that come up, and I really want to drive this home because I feel we've been so heavily imprinted about negative emotions and not showing them, not living them. Like when we're angry as kids, often we were sent to our rooms, or we were told that it's not okay to be angry or to be frustrated or to be upset or any of that. But there is no such thing in my world as a negative emotion. There's possibly undesired ones because they just don't make us feel very good, because it's energy that's blocked. Like, it needs to be processed. It's not like the joyful emotions that just flow, right? They automatically flow, but the heavier ones, they want to be processed. And if we don't know how to do that, it just doesn't make us feel good, right? But even they can become desired once you know how to unpack it, and once you know how to use that encapsulated energy. And what's generally important for this approach is that you don't need to know what it is exactly that you're feeling. It's the opposite even, because labels come from our mind, and I will go into that in a minute. And the less labels you give this whole process, the better. And David R. Hawkins even advises to use no labels at all, but that is definitely a practice. And in the beginning, you will most likely be tempted to label things, and that's perfectly okay. And as a side note, I want to mention, if you're processing something enormous like grief or trauma, I would really advise for you to get support from a trained professional who is able to hold that space for you. And sometimes it can also be unrecognized trauma or something that has been stored for a long time, like I showed with a knee pain the last time. And it can be a sign when you seemingly overreact to a situation that actually feels quite trivial when you take a step back, but you just erupted about something. So that can be a sign that there is something deeper. It's like the tip of the iceberg that's showing up and that's wanting to be recognized, and that's saying, hey, here, you want to look here. And yeah, if it's too big for you and you open it up at a speed that your nervous system cannot handle, then it can just be counterproductive. And if you do that with someone who can hold a strong, loving space for you while you open up, it's much easier, because as I perceive and experience it, the energetic fields of the two people merge, and the processing of that energy just gets much easier, if that makes sense. So just please trust your intuition on this and know that it will guide you. And actually, please always do that with all of my videos. I trust that you know your heart and you know what serves you and what doesn't. So take what serves you and leave what doesn't. And for this exercise, it would be good if you start with something in the present moment that you would rate at a 5 to 8 on a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is nothing at all and 10 is really, really strong emotions. And to get back to the topic, the Hawkins scale of consciousness explains the basis of this exercise really well, I find. And in his approach, he found that the body, as the most dense player in this construct, it calibrates at the level of 200, whereas the mind, which is our thoughts and our beliefs, our unconscious behaviors, that calibrates at the level of 400, which means it's higher than the body, and the mind informs the body. And that's why there's also this saying of mind over body, right? Like you can make, oh, I just see that it's beliefs, not belly. It deleted part of that. Sorry about that. Right. And the highest level is our spirit, our awareness. That's half gone also. Why is that half gone? Anyway, our awareness and our conscious choice, and that calibrates at the highest level of 600. That's the meta level. That's when we rise above things and when we use our conscious awareness. And to me, that is actually our free will. When we make use of our free will, of our conscious choice, we rise above the level of the mind and of the body. And so like in the first episode of this series, where you became aware, when you became the observer of the conversation, instead of staying in the midst of it, in the midst of the emotions of the physical experience, if you recall, that's when you rose above, right? So in your awareness, as I said before, you don't have to label things, because that is a level above the mind, above the logic. And if you feel that slip in during the exercise, that's perfectly okay. Your mind is really just trying to be helpful, and it's just the automatism that gets triggered. And you will notice that with practice and time, that this reaction will fade and you won't feel that need to label whatever comes up. And today I will show you how to integrate this emotional energy by simply becoming that observer rather than fully identifying with your emotions on the physical or the mental level. And to give you another visual that I really love is a pond and fish in it, and the fish are your emotions while you are the pond. You're just the vessel of the emotions. You are not your emotions. And so you become so present with the physical sensations in your body that your mind forgets to think. And I won't be leading you through this process today. I will just describe it to you. But I'm also uploading a free meditation to InsightTimer that leads you through it. And but it takes a while for InsightTimer to process, so I don't know how speedy that will be. I will link it in the show notes once it's ready. And I also found a YouTube video that I will link that uses the same principle and that I find quite good. And but to get started, the first thing you do is simply become aware of where in your body you feel the emotion. So if it's anger, you might feel it in your throat or your solar plexus or your belly, sometimes in your shoulders when they tighten up. And just notice where your body finds a good spot for that emotion. And when you sense into it, you can also observe what it looks like and what it feels like. So in the Lifeline technique, it's called the see, feel, hear process. So you see it, where you see it, and then you feel, what does it feel like? And you become fully present to that physical sensation. And like I said, best without using words to describe it, as that takes you back to the mental level. And then the next thing you do is you give it some space and you allow it to be there instead of pushing it to the sides as we usually do, because we think it's negative, we should not feel it, so we kind of want to hide it under the carpet, as we say in German. And instead, give it space, ask it, allow it to expand into the space it needs. And to me, it's like it changes textures when I do this. So it can feel like a block of ice in the beginning, and it will melt and it'll be water, but the amount of molecules are the same. So it's not as if you are making it grow out of proportion or something. It's the same matter, right? You just give it more space to expand. And know that by doing this, you're opening it up. And it's not like I said, it's not like you're growing your anger or whatever it is you're feeling. You're just opening it up. And then, like I said, observe how the sensation changes through the space you allowed it to have. And maybe the structure changes, maybe the color changes, maybe it moves. And as it moves, it often gets softer and it changes the temperature. Like it gets warm and light. And sometimes I feel a burst of motivation. And it's just, you just feel how the energy is released. And sometimes you can feel tingling as well. And that warmth, that's energy in motion. That's what energy in motion feels like. And once you notice that the energy has moved, that you feel lighter, you can ask the emotion, or this guest from beyond, as Rumi calls it, ask it for its message. And the message will always come from love. It will always give you an insight on why this emotion showed up when it showed up. And maybe it will also let you know of an action that you can take, or that you are to take, or a new perspective, or a deeper understanding of yourself or others. And there's always absolute gold hidden within heavy emotions. They can never show up without reason. They don't. And if you did not receive anything, you can keep asking until it reveals itself. And if there's still nothing, it may be something, this emotion may be something that you did pick up from someone else, and the message is not for you. And if that's the case, you can go back to that last video to see how you could release emotions that you picked up from someone else into the light. And practicing this approach will not only integrate dense emotions and energies in a healthy way, but it also stabilizes your baseline vibration at a higher level. Like I said, it's nothing to fix, but it makes life so much easier. It's not that you have to do it, but it's just awesome. I just really love it. And the thing is that if we just brush over the heavy emotions, if we pretend that all is well, when in truth it's not at all, you know now that these energies stay in your body, that your body keeps the score. They accumulate and they drag us down consciously or unconsciously. And they attract more experiences of their kind to finally make us aware of what's, the energy, the energy that is collecting there that wants to be used, right? So that's a wonderful side effect if you practice this. And yeah, let's just feel what wants to be felt and best before we react, because once the energies and emotions are integrated, chances are you will respond completely different to a situation that triggered you than you would have if you hadn't processed and integrated that emotional energy. But try it out and see for yourself. I would love to hear from you in the comments how it worked. And I will post, as I said, once the meditation of mine is up on InsightTimer. That will be a free meditation, so you don't need to have that paid version. And in the next episode, we will look at how to best support and hold space for someone who is going through a rough period in their lives without us actually going into pity or trying to solve their problems, but instead holding a very powerful space for them where they can reconnect to their hearts, to their soul energy, to their own inner wisdom. And yeah, I just had a very powerful experience with that. So I'm really excited to record and share that with you. But for now, be the pond, my friend. Be the pond.